Hello and welcome to Dingoes Ate My Podcast. I'm Paul,
I'm Dave.
and this week we're discussing the episode That Old Gang of Mine. This episode originally aired October 8th, 2001, attracting approximately 4.48 million viewers. Alright, Dave, so let's start off with some video games that came out around this time. Okay, so on the same day this episode aired, a little game came out on the PS1 called, I almost said Final Fantasy. Good God. No, not that. Castlevania Chronicles,
Ah, neat.
which is basically a remake of the original from the NES.
Yes.
On October 10th on Windows, there was a game called Dark Age of Camelot, which I wouldn't expect you to be familiar with, but it was like one of the early 3D like MMORPGs.
Vaguely rings a bell, but nothing too much from my memory aside from the title.
Yeah, I think the game actually ran for quite a while. Um, it might even still be up. Uh, yeah, it looks like the game might even still be running.
Well, if you have dedicated fans who like your game,
Oh, wait, so, Mythic was shut down shortly after. Oh, no, it looks like it was shut down in 2014, but there's like fan servers that are still running.
again, if you have fans that really enjoy your game,
Yeah, that's a really good run, though, for an MMO. Anyway, there is one game that I really wanted to talk about because, now we normally don't cover a lot of Japanese releases simply because we're Canadian.
eh,
But on October 12th, a little game came out on the Game Boy Advance that we wouldn't see in America while the show was airing, so I'm going to talk about it. Because it wouldn't come out until the DS. But in Japan, they got Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney.
I heard a little bit of history, but I'm a little surprised that it actually first came on the Game Boy Advance.
Yes, it was originally a Game Boy Advance game and then was ported to the DS, and that's when it came to North America. But yeah,
Neat.
I didn't know that either until I saw it, and I'm like, that's gotta be a mistake. And then I looked it up, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. I quite enjoy the Phoenix Wright. Anyway,
Somewhat.
let us move on to number one song in America this week. Any guesses there, Dave?
Hmm. Nothing that immediately comes to mind.
I wouldn't expect you to get this one. It's Fallen by Alicia Keys.
Yeah, sticking from last week.
Yeah, yeah, that hasn't changed. And finally, number one movie in America this week. So last week was Training Day with just over 22.5 million. What is it this week?
Hmm. Well, heading into the spooky season around this time, but whether or not there was anything spooky around in the theaters, I'm not too sure. Uh, get around.
I mean, we had Jeepers Creepers, but that's scary for another reason.
Yeah. Hmm. Thinks.
I'll give you a hint, Dave. It's Training Day again.
Why
with
am I
with
not
uh,
surprised?
with
You gave me the
13.3
answer,
million.
and the thought was, oh, just do the simple thing and say it's still this movie. But it's like, maybe it's the fact that something interesting or something I may actually know of came out, but no, no, it was not.
I will tell you though that next week it will be a different movie, and it's a movie that I have a love-hate relationship with. So stay tuned for that.
You noted.
Yes. Alright, so let us move on to the episode in question. Alrighty. So, the episode starts off with Angel trying to apologize to Merle, the demon who he has long used as an informant, and whom he has frequently abused. Which, I mean, yeah, he has. Merle doesn't feel his apology is sincere, and Angel goads him into taking a free punch, but because they are at Caritas, a spell which prevents any violence by demons, instead causing Merrill to be thrown backwards, which just makes him feel like he's being ridiculed. He goes home, and as he settles among his pitiful possessions, he is violently attacked and killed. The next morning, Angel and Wesley investigate the killing and call Gunn to join them. They interrupt him from a nightmare in which he's reliving the killer of his vampiric little sister. Gunn is annoyed at the call, not understanding why they should care about the murder of a demon, even if he was a harmless one. And I'm sure the whole demons can't fight in Caritas thing was not to set up the finale of this episode. Not at all. Okay. Gunn heads over to visit his old crew, as well as reuniting with Rondell. He also meets Geo, a new addition to the gang, criticizes Gunn for working with a vampire instead of killing him. Gunn leaves the confrontation angry, feeling his old friends think he's a traitor or vampire lover. His friends take him aside, and while defending him from the charges of being a traitor, feel like he hasn't been around and seems to have forgotten his friends from the old neighborhood. Angel and Cordelia talk about Fred, who is not coming out of her shell despite 3 months back in Los Angeles. Angel asks Cordelia to talk with Fred to help her. Cordelia induces Fred to come out with her that night to sing karaoke at Caritas. What could go wrong? As Angel Investigations investigates Merle's killing, they compile a Merle enemy list with demons who became Merle's enemies because he snitched for Angel, filling out most of the list. Angel is annoyed to find himself at the top of the list, even as Cordelia explains he's only on the top because it's alphabetical. Which is a very good joke.
Yes.
But as Angel and Wesley visit demons, they find that some others have been killed seemingly for no reason. In the sewer, a timid, awkward, you're a beanie demon drinks a big gulp and is hunted down. Attacked and killed by Gunn's old friends. As Wesley Gunn wonders why they're bothering to investigate murders of demons. Wesley says that the innocent demons are being killed alongside the guilty. Gunn finds an arrow at the crime scene and recognizes it as being part of his old crew. He pockets the evidence and then confronts Rondell. He thinks Geo has gone rogue and is doing the killing. Rondell explains that the whole crew was there. They go after anything non-human. Gunn is disturbed by their complete disregard for the lives of non-humans. He goes to see Wesley and runs into Angel, who believes that the kills demonstrate that the perpetrators are having fun. I also love how Wesley's like bagging evidence like this is freaking like Law and Order. I'm like, Wesley, the fuck are you doing? Like, you expect to like take this fucking Yarbany demon to fucking court or some shit?
I suppose. Whether or not there's any other particular details they could glean while keeping it as pristine as possible,
It's just
it's probably just going too much into it, but still.
I feel like it's because this is 2001 and CSI just hit the air and they're like, that became a hit like overnight. Anyway. Meanwhile, at Caritas, Fred goes on stage to sing. And she picks an amazing song. We'll get to that later.
Yes.
Fred stops by looking for Wesley. But before he finds him, Caritas is stormed by Rondell, Geo, and friends, who indiscriminately fire upon all the demons at the bar. The massacre made all the more horrifying given the harmless surroundings and the complete inability of the demons to do anything violent while there. Wesley rescues Fred, who is frozen on stage. Rondell wants to leave, but Geo confronts Gunn, condemning him for drinking with his demon friends and accusing him of having a vampire for a best friend. They go to kill Lorne, but Gunn shields him and confronts Rondell for the wrongness of killing demons at random. Rondell and Geo hold Wesley, Gunn, and Friend hostage, but allow Cordelia to leave so she can bring Angel. He rushes over to the club, but asks Cordelia to visit the... Oh, fuck, I'm gonna fuck this up. Transsuiting Furies, the ones who place the anti-demon violence spell on the club in order to get it lifted, so that he can fight back. Geo passes the time by singing a song which activates Lauren's powers, and Lauren realizes that Geo is on the run from something that he did to a woman in Miami, a woman who trusted him. Tensions continue to mount as Gunn is taunted by both Geo and a demon until Angel finally arrives. Geo demands that Gunn kill Angel, but he refuses, saying that he'll never be friends with Angel, but he won't kill him. Geo then says that anyone who kills Angel can get out alive. Fred picks up the crossbow to kill Angel because she doesn't want to die, but then turns it around on Geo instead, but she is quickly disarmed. The spell is then lifted and a free-for-all fight ensues. A demon kills Geo and then is in turn killed. The gang get out alive, but the damage has been done to their relationships. After severing all his ties with his former gang, Wesley tells Gunn that he understands that he felt divided loyalties, but gives him a stark warning that if he ever withholds information again, he'll be fired. Gunn then speaks with Angel about what he said in the club and apologizes, even though he meant every word. Angel understands, and when Gunn suggests that his not killing him when he could proves that can be trusted, Angel states that Gunn will prove he can be trusted if he can kill him when he has to. So, what did you think of this episode?
And this is a heavy episode, just with all the stuff that Gunn had to work to. But I think it's what makes it good. It gives more development to Gunn with his aspects of the story of his old gang, all the stuff they used to do, kind of mirroring a bit how he was back in the day, and all the stuff he's kind of been working through. And especially just with Geo, I believe it was, the newer person, just makes an amazing sort of foil in this sort of case of has his own way of thinking and other sorts of stuff like that, but sort of gives more of a point of the gang how it used to be, where they were fighting for more defensive reasons, where this is starting to dive more into they're just going out because there are demons, and if they cause damage or not, they don't care. They just want to kill demons.
Yeah, no, I think it's a really good episode, and again, like you said, it gives Gunn some of that character development that he really hasn't had a ton of. There,
Also, aside from that, it gave a little bit of characterization to Fred with a couple little things that she had within this episode. The fact that she was given the crossbow, and the fact that she did want to die, but was using it more for a distraction and to try and get the upper hand, was definitely kind of a nicer point to see.
yeah, no, it's yeah. Everybody kind of gets their moment in this episode. Like Lauren gets his little moment. Everybody kind of gets a moment to shine.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean it's primarily focused on Gunn, but everybody still gets like their moment. Um, can't tell you about that. Can't tell you about that. Alrighty, so as we mentioned, Fred does sing a song at karaoke. Although we never, I don't think we ever have Lauren give us. She never gets her reading from Lauren, which is interesting.
True, I suppose. It is the case that he's listening and kind of picking up what's kind of going on, but we don't hear the explanation of what she's kind of going through more so than what we can already kind of understand.
Yeah, and she does pick the song "Crazy" by Patsy Cline, which I thought was a nice touch.
Mhm.
Yes. Okay, so for international titles, this week we have only two. So in German, it's just "My Old Gang," which,
Eh,
okay, that's fine. But in French, I actually kind of like this title better. It translates as "Sense of Mission."
true. Since it was one of the things that was brought up a little later on in the episode with Guns Old Gang sort of bringing up the concept of this is the mission going out and killing demons and whatnot.
Yeah,
And then Gunn kind of turning it around on them saying, this, you've lost the mission in those sorts of cases. Again, I
yeah,
can't remember the line exactly.
yeah. No, I kind of like that alternate title. Alrighty, so if you have nothing else to add, Dave, next week we will be discussing a little episode called Carpe Noctem. It's always good when they bring in the Latin.
depending on if you know what Latin is. I know one of them, but not too sure precisely what it is.
I'm pretty sure it sees the night. Because
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure Noctum would be like to do with the night.
Yeah,
Because
obviously.
nocturnal, so that's my assumption there. Anyway, so
Maybe.
in this episode, we're going to start with investigating the strange deaths of various men who appear to have been drained of their life energy. Angel finds that an old man has been switching bodies with him, and he is trapped in a nursing home. While this old man has taken over Angel's body, but doesn't know what to do with the body. Doesn't know that it's the body of a vampire.
Hmm.
It's some Freaky Friday bullshit.
Oh boy.
Oh, it's so good. So happy. Alrighty, so until next week, I'm Paul.
And I'm Dave.